Om Shuklambaradharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarvavighnopashantaye Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham karishyami siddhir me sada yena samamnayam adhigamya maheshwarat kritsnam vyakarnam proktam tasmai paninaye namaha Vakyakaram Vadaruchim Bhashakaram Patanjalim Paninim Sutrakarancha Pranatosmi Munitrayam Vagarthaviva Sampraktau Vagarthav Pratipattaye Jagatah Pitarau Vande Parvati Parameshwarau Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Namaste everyone, welcome to class. Hope you're all doing well and keeping healthy. So on for the warm-up today, I just put two sentences that we might have seen before, just to test, different vibhaktis for us. So that first one says Purushaha putrabhyam saha gramam gachati. So I'm not going to write it because that will take some time, but we'll just go through it quickly, right? Gachati, gam dhatu, latlakaraha, kartari prayoga, third one. So goes, kartari prayoga. Then we want to look for the 1-1, purushaha, right? So it's purusha, akaranta pullinga, and it's pratama vibhakti, ekavachanam. And since we're in kartari prayoga, this is kartari pratama to gachati. So who goes? Purusha goes. Purusha goes where? Gramam. Gramam is grama, pratipadika, akaranta, pullinga. The vibhakti is the supratyaya is ditya vibhakti ekavachanam, and the vibhakti artha is karmani dvitiya to gachati. So the second case in the sense of object. So purusha goes, so the person goes to where? To the village, gramam. Okay, now it says putrabhyam saha. Saha is avyaya, it has no case, so we'll skip past that. Putrabhyam. So putrabhyam, we know this can be either 3-2, 4-2, or 5-2. Yeah, 3-2, 4-2, 5-2. So this is putra, pratipadika, akaranta punlinga. The supratyaya is, we see saha, so probably tritiya vibhakti or dvivachanam. And this is saha, the vibhakti artha, this is saha tritiya. So it's the third case because it's connected with the word saha. So purusha gachati, person goes where? To the village, and saha, along with putra, the son. So goes along with the son. Okay, so we can do this without writing it down, right? Okay, next sentence, Purusha devabhyam shlokam vadati. Okay, so we want to pick out the verb first. Verb is vadati, vaddatu. It's 1p, meaning to speak, to tell. And this is latlakara kartari prayoga, pratama purusha ekavachanam, right? Third one. So then we want to look for the 1-1. So purushaha, purushaha, purusha. And then this is Akaranta Punlinga Purusha Shabda, the Supratyaya Pratama Vibhakti Ekavachanam, and this is Kartri Pratama tu Vadati. So the person says, they say, what do? They say shloka. Shloka is Akaranta Punlinga Shloka Shabda. This is Ditya Vibhakti Ekavachanam Karmani Ditya tu Vadati. So it's the object of telling. You tell what? You tell the shloka, or you say the shloka. Now, to whom? Deva Bhyam. So this can be, again, this can be 3-2, 4-2, 5-2. In the earlier example, we saw 3-2. So now let's just think a second. Are we saying it perhaps with the devas or by the devas? No. Are we saying for the devas? Yeah, for the devas. So that's probably going to be fourth case, right? So this is Deva Akaranta Punlinga Deva Shabda, right? The Supratya Chaturthi Vibhakti Dvivachanam 4-2, and the Vibhakti Arthaha is Sampradane Chaturthi tu Vadati. So it's the recipient of the action of telling the shloka. So who do we say it to? So you can see, we want to do practice like this. When we're doing the homework, it's a little bit easier because we're on third case, or we're on fourth case, or we're on fifth case. And so you can kind of, by the homework, you can kind of guess. But now I'm just going to try to take sentences from all over the place to kind of extend our capacity to do these sentences more and more. Okay, let me know if you have any questions in the chat, or if it's too fast. Okay. You can keep typing those questions if there aren't any. Let's look at our Rama Shabda. We'll chant it together. Okay. So we'll go all the way to fifth case. So Ramaha, Ramo, Ramaha, Ramam, Ramo, Raman, Ramena, third case, Ramabhyam, Ramaihi, fourth case, Ramaya, Ramabhyam, Ramebhyaha, fifth case, Ramat, Ramabhyam, Ramebhyaha. 5-2, 5-3 are same as 4-2, 4-3. Okay. So as a quick reminder again, Panchami Vibhakti is often connected to which karaka? Apadanam, right? Apadanam is the origin of action. It can also be a source of fear. It can also be that from which one needs protected from. It can also be the cause of birth, and also a teacher of formal learning. So all of those different things. The most common we see is the origin of action. This is the most common one we see. So that's good to keep in mind. Usually that preposition from is used. So the apple falls from the tree. So from is often connected with the fifth case. We can see that often used. Okay. We also saw last time that the fifth case is connected to the hetu, or the cause. This is called heto panchami, right? So I want to say, I feel sick because I have a cold. If I want to say because, I'll use this heto panchami. Okay. We left last time on vibhakte panchami. So this is on, so in our book, this is on page 1. This is page 82, 81 or 82? 81, okay, great. This is page 81. So vibhakte panchami. is we give the fifth case to a thing or a person from which another thing or person is distinguished from. Okay. So that from which we want to distinguish is given the fifth case. Okay, so monat satyam vishishyate. So speaking truth, satyam, vishishyate is greater. It's greater than what? It's greater than silence, mona. So because we're distinguishing the truth from silence, that from silence will be given the fifth case. Okay, vibhakte panchami. Like vibhakti or vibhakte means separation, right? To distinguish. That's why we have 7 separations, 7 vibhaktis. This is that same word is used here, vibhakti. This means it's when we're separating, distinguishing something. Okay, now this is new. So a referential point for words or direction in terms of time and space. Okay, so these words that are used to refer to time or space are called dik shabdas. Dik means direction or time. So even we'll say we have dig devata. In Tatoda, we saw dig devata. They're the devatas of the different directions. So even, because everything is Ishvara, even the directions are Ishvara, right? So dik shabdas. So the words connected to the dik shabdas are given the fifth case, and that's called dig yoge panchami. Just notice how the kakara becomes ga. So dik becomes dig. Okay, that is correct. There's a sandhi rule that applies, and then that word changes there. So dig yoge panchami. Repeat after me. Dig yoge panchami. All right. So I have 2 on the screen here. I have purva and para. Purva means before, but it can also mean the direction east. And para means after, or it can mean something as superior. So sometimes these words have multiple meanings. So purva, let's say jnanat purvaha samsaraha. So purva, before jnanat, before the knowledge, samsara, there is bondage. Notice how we don't have a verb here, so we have to supply bhavati. Samsaraha bhavati. There is samsara. Purva jnana. Before knowledge, samsaraha bhavati. There is that bondage or samsara. It could also mean, east of knowledge, there is samsara, but that doesn't make much sense. We want to use the word east here. Okay, the other second one is para. Para. So jnanat paraha mokshaha. So mokshaha bhavati. We just apply bhavati there. See, because the verb is always there or it's implied. Paraha jnanat. So after knowledge, mokshaha bhavati. There is freedom. Moksha. Yeah, there's a question. Can we use asti in place of bhavati? Yeah, we can use asti or bhavati. Generally, when there's no verb, that asti or bhavati is implied. They both mean is or to be. There's another question here, going back a little bit. They said, how does bhakti and vibhakti relate to the notion of bhakti, devotion? Okay, because I said bhaj means to divide. So that all these words, vibhakti or bhakti, all of them are derived from the root bhaj. Now that root bhaj in the Dhatu Kosha, if you look it up, there's multiple meanings. One of them is to divide, and one of them is pujayam, to worship, in the sense of worship. So when we're talking about devotion, we're talking about bhakti in the sense of devotion. So that's the same root. So it's correct that you thought of that, but it's just a different meaning of that same dhatu. Another question so can we also say jnanat param moksham bhavati? Okay, so basically they're saying, can we say moksham instead of mokshaha? We wouldn't say, we wouldn't say moksha. Moksha is akaranta punlinga. It's a ending masculine. So if we say moksham or param, then that will be in the second case. But nothing kind of calls for the second case here, right? If we use the verb bhavati, it's not the object of bhavati, right? It's not the object of the verb to be. So we couldn't say the second case. So we would say the first case, right? Moksha bhavati. Moksha is. Okay. So we saw purva, para, uttara, prak, and anantaram. Here are also some more dik shabdas. Okay. So uttara means after, above, or north. Right? Uttar Kashi, right? That's north. Or above, perhaps. It probably means above there because it's very high up in elevation. Etasmat bhagat uttaraha bhagaha asti. Okay. So we want to see this first, the verb asti, right? Is. What is bhagaha asti? So there is a section. There is a section. And then we want to go right to left. Uttaraha bhagat uttara etasmat bhagat. So after etasmat, this bhagat section, then there is another section. Bhagaha asti. So any word connected to that dik shabda gains the fifth case. Prak, okay, see now notice how prak, so some of these words, uttaraha, for example, purva, para, they can all be declined. Purvaha, purvo, purvaha, purvam, purvo, purvan, okay? But prak and anantaram, they're indeclinable, meaning that they don't change. It's not prak, prako, plaka, it doesn't change like that. It's indeclinable. So you'll see notice a 0 here next to prak. That means indeclinable. So jnanat prak agnanam asit. Asit is a different, it's not present tense. So in the past, so it's a past tense. So agnanat asit. So there was ignorance, jnanat prak, before the knowledge. So before the knowledge, agnanam asit. There is ignorance. There was ignorance. Anantaram, after. So mandiram gacchati. He goes to the temple, snyanat anantaram, after bathing. Notice these translation, you can either say before after, before. You can say later or you can say before. In English, we tend to say before, right? After bathing, he goes to the temple. Or you can say he goes to the temple after bathing. Either one works. Okay. Uttara, there's a question, is uttara punlinga? So when we have uttara, I suppose it's what we call a sarvanama. Sarvanama can often be declined in 3 genders. So it's not, doesn't have to be, it depends on what it's qualifying. The gender will take it'll take the gender of the word it's qualifying. So in the context we saw, it is Punlinga, it's masculine. But it can change genders. Okay, Harprasadji, you have one question?
Yes, sir. How do you distinguish between the avyayas, which is indeclinable, and the subanta?
Yeah. Okay, so first clarification is technically avyayas are subantam. Technically. What happens is a sup pratyaya comes and then it goes. So then it can't be declined later after that. So technically it's a subantam, but how do you know that it's a avyaya? And there's no really good answer to this. You just have to kind of become familiar with these common ones. So prak and antaram, some of these words, you have to basically be familiar with it or look it up. There's no really good answer. There's no like clue that will tell you. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so instead of prak, if we use purva in that sentence, will it be purvam ajnanam? Yeah, so if we go back, look. So purvaha, and then it would be, second case would be purvam. So correct, it would be purvam ajnanam. Oh, no, sorry. It will be purvam ajnanam because the purva will become neuter gender. Ajnanam is neuter gender. It's not masculine. That's why 1-1, it ends with the makara, not like Rama Shabda. Okay, so I know that's confusing. We should have used examples of only masculine words because only know masculine words. But this is the case. So ajnanam is a neuter word. So whatever we put with it, for example, purva or para, it'll also be neuter. And so it will also be purvam ajnanam, but it won't be second case. It'll be first case. Asit is not lat lakara. What is it? It is lit lakara. Lit. So that's one of the past.
I have a question regarding Uttara Purva. So if you use the word Purva, so do you do spot similar like Rama, Purva, Purvaha? Is that how you do it?
Yeah. So depending on what, so notice how here, look, if we see Uttara on the screen here, Uttara is connected to Bhagaha. So because it's connected to Bhagaha, it's also masculine then. Then we'll do Uttaraha, Uttaro, Uttaraha, etc. Depending on what Bhaga is. So even though, okay, so it's weird because these words get the gender and the vibhakti of the word it's connected to, the other noun, but the nouns connected to it get the fifth case.
Nouns connected to get the fifth case.
The nouns connected to this dik shabda get the fifth case, but the case it gets depends on the other word it's qualifying. Does that make sense?
It does.
It only gets first case because Bhaga is first case. If Bhaga is second case, then Uttara will also get second case.
I see. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these are all Sarvanama, Purva, Para, Uttara. That'll be our next after Rama Shabda, I think. No, we see it. I think we see Sarvanama after Rama Shabda. So we'll get there pretty soon. Okay, next after this, we see that any word connected to these following words get the fifth case. Fifth case is a pain, let me tell you, okay? It's just, there's kind of random rules. I don't think it's meant to be random. It's, you know, but it's much more difficult than the other one. A word connected to these following words get the fifth case. So, anya, itara, binna, rite. All of these can be declined except for rite. All of these are can be three genders. Okay, anya, which is a pronoun meaning another or other. Krishnat anyaha samarthaha na asti. Other than Krishna, so, or nobody is capable other than Krishna. So samarthaha na asti, nobody is capable anyaha krishnat, other than Krishna. Dakshinat itaraha vamaha. So the left hand vamaha is other than itara, than the right hand, dakshina. Dakshina also means south. So binna means different. Tasmat eshaha binnaha bhavati. This eshaha is binna. So esha binna bhavati. This is different than from that or than that. Rite without. Ishwarat rite vishwam navartate. So, Ishwarat rite, without Ishvara, vishwam navartate. Vartata also just means like asti or bhavati. So there is no world, vishwam rite, without Ishvara. So there's a question here, is itara and anya the same meaning? Yeah, it is the same in the context of when it means other. And yeah, basically they mean the same thing. Yeah, another or other are very similar. Maybe someone, does anybody know, is there a difference between another and other? I don't think there is, but maybe there is that I don't know of. Maybe another refers to a person, and other, I'm not sure. Harprasad ji?
Yes, sir. On this itara, dakshinat itaraha vamaha.
Mm-hmm.
And he says left hand. Now, we don't have to use the hand at all here because we can say dakshinat itaraha vamaha. There is no need to add hand here.
Yeah, no, we don't need to add hand. So this could just mean left is other than right.
Right.
We don't need to add hand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes, sentences often are in context. So I think here, the vivaksha, the intention of the person was to say left hand is other than the right hand. But yeah, we don't need that. Just as a standalone sentence, it can mean also just mean left is other than right. Okay. So these are just words that we need to become familiar with, okay? So part of the homework is just to make flashcards of these or like write them down of each of these, right? Anya means another or other. Itara means other. Binna means different. Rite means without. These come pretty commonly or relatively commonly. Uttara, prakanantaram, etc. These are just different words that we can learn, and so maybe making flashcards or putting them next to each other, and so you can rewrite them all and know the meanings. So there's a, in the chat, it says another refers to singular other and other refers to many. Okay, so perhaps anya and itara are different because itara only refers to plural many, whereas anya can also refer to singular other. Okay, so there's a slight difference perhaps there. Okay, let's close this. Okay, let's do one example at least. All right. Oh, we still have a little bit more. We're so close. Okay, let's just finish this. Okay. It's easier after fifth case. So if we just go through fifth case. Okay. A word connected to these more following words, they gain either second case, third case, or fifth case. Okay, so this is something to remember, that it can get second, third, or fifth, but the meaning won't change actually. Okay, so even though the case changes, the meaning when connected to these words does not change. So we see pritak, without or apart from. We can say Ramam, Ramena, or Ramat. Second, 2-1, third, 3-1, 5-1. We can say Ramo, right? We can say Ramabhyam or another Ramabhyam. It can be 2-2, 3-2, 5-2. Doesn't matter, but they can be second, third, or fifth case connected to Pritak. So without Rama, Krishna goes to the Nagara, village, or to the city. Yeah, it says city. Okay. So it can be any of these three cases, but no difference in meaning. And then vina, also an indeclinable. Vina is actually more common. Without or except. So jnanam, jnanena, jnanat, vina, sukham na bhavati. Without jnanam or jnanena, jnanat, without knowledge, sukham, happiness, na bhavati, is not there. So there is not happiness without knowledge. Okay, just for the sake of time, I'm just going to do one example. So if you look at the homework, you notice all the ones 11 to 14 are either second, third, or fifth case. Okay, you don't need to do all the, like you don't need to do the parsing of all three of those words. You just choose one of them. But choose the fifth case one since we're in the fifth case exercise, okay? But in the back of your mind, you know that it can also be putram or putrena. So just choose the fifth case one to parse when you're doing this, the sentence for your homework, okay? So we're doing, the homework is number 6 to 14 only. That's page 174 in the back of the book. We don't have time to do the full example, so maybe let's just do it verbally right now. We'll just talk through it quickly. So let's just look at, maybe let's look at number, is there anyone that sticks out to you? Okay, let's do number 4 or 10, number 10. Okay, number 10, Surya Chandraha Binnaha Bhavati. Okay, so bhavati means it. So bhu dhatu, 1p, lat lakaraha, kartari prayoga, third one. Then we look for our first case. We want to pick other than binna, so chandraha. Chandra, it's akaranta pullinga, chandra shabda. It's pratama vibhakti, ekavachanam, and it's Kartari pratama tu bhavati. So the moon is, okay? The moon is what? The moon is binnaha. Moon is binnaha. So notice how that case follows the word Chandra. Okay, binnaha is binna, akaranta, punlinga, sarvanama shabda. It is prathama vibhakti ekavachanam, kartari prathama to bhavati. So the moon is different than what? Different than Suryat. Surya, Akaranta Pullinga, Surya Shabda, Panchami Vibhakti, Ekavachanam. And this is fifth case connected to Binna. Because it's connected to Binna, it gets the fifth case. Okay, so the moon is different than the sun. We go back to being children, where we have these nice examples. Okay, all right. So let's just say Om Shanti, and I'll take some questions while we're waiting. Okay, while we're taking a break. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. So let's take a 5-minute break. If you have a question, you can ask me while everyone else is taking a break. Yeah. Harprasadji, go ahead.
Yes, sir. So I could use Vina in place of Prak also, is it not?
Yeah. So, but Prak also has another meaning of. So Prak means before, Vina means without. So Prak means before, and then Vina.
No. I think then, yeah, no, this one here, now, Ramam, Ramena, Rama, Vina, Krishna.
Oh, yeah, correct. Okay, Pritak, I thought you said, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Pritak or Vina, yeah, you can use them interchangeably in these two sentences. Yeah.
Okay.
They're very similar.
Okay.
Vina is more, you see Vina more commonly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Okay. Is it non-karaka panchami vibhakti? Yeah, so it's a non-karaka panchami. It is non-karaka. You can say non-karaka, but I just say, fifth case connected to binna. Because it's connected to binna, it's fifth case. So that's the easiest way of saying it. Okay, or Milan?
Yeah, now the binna, you said, how is it connected to Chandraha? Did you say it is connected to Chandra, or is it connected to Bhavati? Binna.
Yeah, so it's Kartari Prathama to Bhavati.
Bhavati, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But yeah, so yeah, that's.
If that is Kartari Prathama to Bhavati, why can't Surya becomes Panchami to Chandra? Suryat becomes.
So it's fifth case because it's connected to Binna.
It's connected to Binna again.
Yeah.
I see.
Because it gets the.
So Vibharti Akta, how do you say that then? So Suryat is connected to Binna?
So we'll just say fifth case because so fifth case connected to Binna. Because Binna is there, gets the fifth.
Okay. Okay.
So the moon is different than the Surya, sun.
Okay, they're different. Okay.
Because it's different than, whatever it's different than, gets the fifth case.
Okay.
Different than, yeah, gets the fifth case. So someone said, can it also be that the moon is different from the sun? Yeah, so the moon is different from the sun. That's another way of saying the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.